TNA District Court for County of Washington, State of Michigan is now back in session. The honorable judge.
You may be seated. Court does call the case case of the People versus Jason Stevens.
First Assistant Public Defender Clint A. Anderson, with and on behalf of Mr. Stevens, Your Honor, submitted a form he's requesting to have the Public Defender's Office appointed.
Okay, your name, sir?
Jason Stevens.
All right, and is that correct, sir? You're wishing?
Yes.
All right. All right, this is a public defender case. I have, yes, Ms. Valerica.
Your Honor, I was just going to state for the record that Mr. Stevens is before the court today for a violation of probation hearing. There is an alleged violation of the contact order dated April 25th, 2025. Probation did provide the court with this report for that incident.
I think we can approach before we begin.
Yes. And
And Your Honor, the victim, Cashmir Morley, is present should the court.
yes, well, I have the report. And I guess, Ms. Morley, if you could come forward to the podium, please. Can you state your name, please?
Cashmir Morley.
All right. Can I have her sworn, please?
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name.
Cashmir Morley.
All right, Ms. Morley, the report that I have in front of me indicates that Mr. Stevens appeared at your place of work and waited in line to speak with you.
Those are two separate events, but that's correct.
What do you mean they're two separate events?
There was a workplace event where he showed up at my place of work, and then when he was waiting in line to come to me, it was to a networking event that I was putting together, that I was hosting.
Okay. So, well, now, I mean, I'm looking here and it just says Stevens appeared at Morley's place of work, waited in line to speak with you. When you refused to have contact with him, he waited around the venue for 10 more minutes before leaving. So now you're telling me, that sounds to me like that what they're describing to me is one event, but you're saying there are two. When was, okay, which one occurred first?
The workplace event. That was in March.
And where do you, the workplace event, where he came to your place of work?
Where do I work?
Well, in March, you're saying he came to your place of work. Where do you work?
I put some hours in at the Ann Arbor Art Center.
Pardon?
The Ann Arbor Art Center.
Okay.
After hours of legal back and forth, the real drama isn't the verdict, it's humanity. Behind every permit and fine are families waiting for homes. Justice, paperwork, and people all collide here.
So, and that was on March.
Probably would have been mid-March sometime.
And that's kind of where you would work every day?
Not every day, but I'm part-time there, so I'm there frequently.
Okay. In your mind, did he have a purpose for coming there? If he was there?
It was my understanding that there was, excuse me, I have allergies going on today. There was an exhibition, I think, that he was supposed to help out with. That's as far as I know. But the times that he showed up, there was nothing work pertaining going on, according to the people that I spoke with.
So where are you? He shows up there and then what does he do vis-a-vis you?
One of the people that I work with said that they saw him just wandering around the building, not really with a purpose, and nobody knew who he was or why he was there.
Okay, did he see you?
No,
Well,
I didn't see him. And I don't
You
think he
did
saw
not
me.
see him.
Mm-mm. But I knew he was in the building because of the email correspondences that were going on
What email correspondence?
in the workplace. I'm on like an all staff email chain. And so I was told that he was going to come into the building for an exhibition.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong. So you're told via this email that he's coming into the building. And at least according to that work email, he was entering that place for some legitimate purpose.
The email said that he had showed up. Nobody knew who he was, but apparently he was putting on an exhibition. So they were talking about him coming randomly out of nowhere and saying that he was there for an exhibition. So they were discussing that. And then the email said that there was an exhibition to take place in March that apparently he was supposed to be a part of, but nobody knew who he was or why he was there. That was the email.
Okay. I guess I. If nobody knew who he was, did they know his name?
Well, I'm sure he's probably told them his name because they said his name in the email, but in the correspondence, they said they didn't know who he was at the time that he appeared.
Do you have copies of those emails?
Not with me, no.
Do you have access to copies of them?
I could probably get some, yeah.
And then the other event took place, what was that, May 5th?
That was April 25th.
April 25th was the second thing?
Mhm.
Okay, and where did that allegedly happen?
I was hosting a networking event at Venue by 4M in Ann Arbor. And he appeared and he stood in line and I was checking people in and he stood in line so that I could check him into an event that I was hosting and stood longer in line than he did at the actual event.
So you're hosting an event?
Mhm. Me and the crew of other people, but I was on the hosting committee.
So he comes there, or do you?
Mhm.
Would he, in going to the event, would there have been another way, assuming he's there, that there he would have been able to access the event without checking in with you?
That was the only way, was to go through me. And I was an organizer on the event. So if you were paying attention to the event at all, my name was all over that. There was no way you couldn't have known that I was part of it.
Okay, but I could know that you're part of an event, can go to an event, avoid you, but they, prior to coming to the event, would he have known that you were at the desk or wherever it needed to be checked in?
I don't know if he knows that or not, but he had at least 10 minutes waiting in line to get to me to turn around and leave the event. And he chose to come and approach me instead.
Okay, so when he approached you, what did he say?
He said good morning and tried to have me check him in. We have a no contact order, so I didn't speak to him. And the person next to me who was helping check people in then took over because she didn't know the situation and checked him into the event. And he stayed less than 10 minutes and left at a networking event.
Okay, so he comes to the event. So it's not a circumstance where you're the only one checking people in. There's somebody else there.
Sitting right next to me. Yep.
Okay, so he comes up, he says, good morning. Is that the only thing he said to you?
He tried to have conversation at the desk and I
What do
didn't
you
have
mean,
anything.
have conversation?
He checked himself in and then started talking about a hat that he was wearing and started trying to have conversation with me. And then when I didn't say anything, the woman next to me ushered him into the event, and he wasn't signed up for this event either.
Well, did you have to be?
You were supposed to be, yes.
Okay, but did you have to be?
We were letting people in anyway, but that was not the intent. As it was the first event that we were throwing.
So those are the two events.
Mhm.
If you've ever wondered how boring code enforcement could sound thrilling, this is it. Mold, permits, and broken windows have never carried so much courtroom suspense. Someone cue the legal drama music.
So are you claiming that there are any other events that took place?
I'm here because of the April 25th event.
Okay. Are you claiming that there are any other events of contact? Okay. So in mid-March, after let me just so that I'm correct, mid-March, he never comes in eye shot of you, right?
That's correct.
All right, and so you don't see him.
Mhm.
The April event, it's basically a public event,
Mhm.
right? He's entering, and you're saying he said good morning. You didn't check him in. And then you're saying he tried to engage you in conversation, but that didn't happen.
No, with me, I mean, he spoke, but I didn't speak. And then the person next to me who was helping me check people in took him into the event.
Okay, after that event, or right at that point, did you contact the police at that point?
No, because I was there checking people in, and it was also our first event, and I didn't really feel comfortable having the police come to this event right when we were starting to host things, so I didn't know what to do.
Okay, so when did you contact the police about this?
I believe it was the following week. It might have been the week after. I can't remember the exact date. But I was speaking to the probation officer and she told me to file a police report, which is what I did.
Okay, but here's what I'm indicating or trying to figure out. This occurs April 25th, which would have been a Friday,
Mhm.
right? Approximately what time?
The event ran from 8:30 to 9:45. So I think probably around 8:45, 9 o'clock is when he showed up.
All right. And so, and the event ran how long that day?
until 9:30
Till 9:30 PM,
AM.
AM. So from 8:30 to 9:30 was the event. It's basically an hour.
Mhm.
Okay.
There might have been 9:45, 9:30, 9:45 ish just when it,
Okay, that's fine. So it didn't go all day.
correct.
And then so when did you then contact the police about this?
It was either the following week or the week after. I can't remember the exact date.
Would May 7th?
I'm not sure of the exact date, sir.
Have you read the police report on this?
No, I have not.
Jordan, would you like me to give her my copy?
Yeah, if you could, I'd just like her to read the victim statement.
Okay.
Is that statement correct?
No, this is not correct. This is jumbling the events together, and it's also not what happened.
I'm just talking about the victim statement.
Mhm.
How is it jumbling the events together?
It says that this is the second time that he tried to speak to me. He just tried to speak to me when he came into the event. There wasn't like a time he came back to talk to me. And also placing a hat on so that no one would recognize him. That's not how that occurred.
Okay, so how big was this event?
There was probably 100 people there.
Okay, so he went into the event, he didn't stay long and then left.
He waited longer in line to check in than he did at the event. Than he was at the event.
Okay, it's the second time you said that. So what am I supposed to take from that?
That he waited in line longer to get to me than he actually stayed at the event. If he was there for work, for networking, I don't know why you would say
So-
there to network.
How many of these events have you done, say, this year?
This is the first one we had this past April.
Okay. How often are you at your part-time job?
20 hours a week.
Okay. So other than this March date, I'm just talking this year at this point.
Mhm.
Has he come into your work?
Not that I know of. I have not seen him.
Okay. And then after July of 2024, were you also participating in events?
I was not hosting them, but I was going to networking events. Yes.
So you did, so this is the first event you hosted.
Correct.
Full encounter between you and him on April 25th is crazy. How long was that encounter?
Him speaking to me.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Probably like 3 to 5 minutes.
The tension's climbing faster than property violations. Lawyers volley between "we fixed it" and "no you didn't." Somewhere, a building inspector quietly facepalms into an unfinished ceiling fan.
Okay, anything else you want to tell me?
Um, no, I think that's it.
Okay, and I guess not that I've made a finding, what do you want the court to do?
Something so this doesn't keep happening. I'm sick of being contacted by him.
Okay, so, ma'am, you've only told me of one incident.
This is at least the third time I've called the Ann Arbor precinct about no contact violations.
But
Your Honor, I believe that she's referencing the two others that was well on that.
that were from, that I've already addressed because these were sentenced after.
Correct. That's what I believe, and I'm,
Mhm. Yeah,
okay.
you're correct.
It was a December 8th and January 5th.
All throughout the time.
December 8th of 2023 and a January 5th of 2024.
The time period between December and then July, there were emails, there were letter he left in my mailbox. There was dozen times.
Right, I
contacted me.
recall all that, ma'am,
Mhm.
but the reason I'm using the July date
Mhm.
is because that's when he was sentenced,
Mhm.
right? And you're saying that so between July and this July of 2024 and the April date, has he been in contact with you?
He drives by my house all the time and says he's going to his
Oh,
rental
okay.
unit.
One
but-
thing I remember about this case is I think he has a rental property in the same neighborhood that you're in.
I
'Cause we had
would
to
like to
deal
know the
with
address
that.
of that, but yes,
What?
I'd like to know the address to it, but yes, that's what he's claimed.
Well, I don't think that was ever disputed at the time of sentencing, that he has a rental property up that way. And that he would go to we had a whole discussion about it.
Mhm. Does he need to park in front of my house to get to his rental unit?
It's like right there. I mean, is
If
that
it's
what
on the
all-
same street, it doesn't mean he needs to park in front of my house to get there.
So how many times are you saying that happened?
Countless times.
When that happens, does he engage you in any way? Does he heads off someplace else? He heads
No,
off
he
to this
sits in
other-
his car. He doesn't head anywhere else.
So when that happens, did you call the police?
Yes,
When?
I called the police as early as this week when that happened. Like Monday.
Hold on.
And they
Oh.
told me there's nothing that they could do about it because it's a public street.
So what day did you call the police about this?
About the April event?
No, about April event, you didn't contact him till May 5th. But about him being out in front of your house
Monday.
this past Monday?
Mhm.
And what did they do? They did nothing?
He told me there's nothing that he could do because he had left by the time that they got there. And then he said it was a public street. So even though I had photos, it didn't matter. That's what he told me.
Did you show the officer the photos?
No, he didn't want to see them. He said it didn't matter.
What time did you call there on Monday?
6 o'clock.
6 p.m.? So other than that, when you called the police, have you contacted, you're saying, you're using phraseology like all the time and those kinds of things. And I'm trying to figure out where you're saying he's in front of your house. Other than this past Monday, right? Have you called the police about him being there?
Yes.
On how many occasions?
Probably between 5 and 10 at this point. I don't know how many like actual case numbers I have or whatever that's
Do you
called,
have the
but
case numbers?
not on me, no.
Do you have the request for service numbers?
Not on me, no. But I have the card from Monday, not with me, but I do have that number.
You have a rental property in the neighborhood, right? Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay, and it's, as I'm recalling, it's adjacent in a sense to where she resides. It's like right in that same area.
You like me to answer?
Yeah,
Yes, from the end of the driveway, her apartment would be visible. When she says
I recall that. I was trying to make sure I was recalling that part of it correctly. All right. Okay, and so ma'am, I was at the point, what do you want me to do?
Something.
I-
I'm tired of him contacting me. He could have gone to any other networking event. He didn't have to go to one that I was putting on. And if he was actually there for work, then he should have been networking instead of just leaving 5 minutes after checking in. But he stood in line to see me and contact me, and there's a witness to that.
Why he stood in line, do you?
Why did he leave 5 minutes after then if he was there for work? And I have a witness to the whole thing.
Pardon?
I have a witness to the whole thing.
Who's your witness?
The person that was sitting next to me.
And who is that?
What's her name?
Yes.
Her name is Aylin Walters.
She available?
Not today,
How do you know?
because I asked her.
When would she be available?
I don't know.
Do you have contact information for this Miss Walters that you could share with Miss Polera?
I do.
All right. Okay, anything else you want to tell me? All right, thank you. All right, sir. And I know you're represented by, no, you're okay. Come on.
You need your glasses, Mr. Stevens.
I think I know what's on, yeah.
Let's have him sworn.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name.
Jason Stevens.
Stevens? And if at any point you're uncomfortable answering any of the questions the court has, then you've got counsel here. Do you recall being in the, I guess, Ann Arbor Art Center in March?
Yes,
Why were you there?
I have brought with me the contract signed for my company to install an exhibition there in March.
Can I see that? I mean,
It also includes a timeline on the front page and correspondence with Ms. Morley's employer about
hold on.
the exhibition.
Hold on.
This is what we call a show cause hearing. Basically, the judge's version of explain yourself or else. And right now, the or else feels very real.
So you were supposed to be there regarding an event. There's a contract regarding the event.
That is correct.
That's why you were there in March.
Yes.
All right. And then, well, let me ask you in March, did you see her at all?
I was not aware she worked there until her employer called and told me.
When did that happen?
The week before installation was supposed to happen.
She said she worked there. You were told that she worked there.
Yes.
Were you told? Well, how'd that conversation go? Why? Well, let me ask you this. Why did their employer then tell you that?
Apparently, Ms. Morley told her employer, the director of the Ann Arbor Art Center, that she had a restraining order against me and that I wasn't allowed into her place of work. Her employer, knowing that I was there to install an exhibition, called me in a bit of a panic, and we talked about it on the Friday before installation.
Okay, and what between the employer and yourself, when you say you talked about it, what was worked out regarding that?
The fact that, well, the employer asked that I not come into the building.
Okay.
Of course, that created a difficult situation because I had a responsibility in the building and an exhibition that was opening a week later. So we had to work out how that work would actually get done without me being able to be in the building. My coworkers did not want to go after they learned about this, so we had to find a surrogate to do that work. We ended up working through other people. I worked remotely. I did not go into the building, despite this being a physical job, but it all came off okay, so.
Well, hold on a second. Were you in the building in March then?
Before that phone call, I was going in and meeting with people to talk about the logistics.
That's what I'm trying to clear up.
Yeah,
The mid-March point, you heard the testimony of Morley. Had you been told at that point that she worked there?
no.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure. I wanted to make sure I had my timing right. So then you're told that, well, her employer or the director of the building calls you, tells you that. And even though you had contracted to do this installation, right? Did you enter the building after that?
Nope. Have not been back since.
Got it. Okay. And then what happened? Do you recall April 25th event?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. What do you want to tell me about that? Did you go, I think it was on South Industrial or something?
Place called Venue.
Yeah.
Used to be a grocery store, I think. I was on a podcast with a fellow. I met the fellow and learned that he was speaking at this event, a new professional networking event that was being hosted at Venue. I decided I would go check it out. Saw another colleague earlier in the week. She said she was going. I said, cool, I'll meet you there. Went to that event at 8:30. I was actually there right at 8:30. When I walked in, I saw that Cashmir Morley was checking people in, but she was one of two people. I stepped aside, waited for the other woman's line to empty. I went up to her. I checked in. She complimented my hat.
Who did?
The woman that I checked in with, apparently her name is Lynn Walters.
Okay.
She complimented my hat. I said, thank you, I made it myself. And then I went into another room where the actual event was taking place, grabbed a glass of water, went into that room, saw the friend that I had agreed to meet there, saw another couple of people. And I did leave before the event started, before Hein actually began talking. I left through a side door because I didn't want to be in the same room as Ms. Morley. And that was it.
So you didn't, I guess it would have been the front is where you came in.
Yeah, right by the front.
You didn't leave out the front.
Nope.
So what you're telling me is the reason you left is because she was there and that at some point, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, at some point, given that she was part of that event, she was going to be in that same room as you. And you were trying to avoid that.
Yes, I would say generally her presence was making me uncomfortable.
Okay.
I should add, I don't see her name on anything related to the event. She said she was hosting it, but that's not clear.
Do you have that with you?
So that I can explain. I added a page that's the podcast we were on. The next page is the LinkedIn post where I learned about the event. Her name is nowhere in that post. There's another internet article about the event. Her name is nowhere in that article. So.
But the reality is you're not learning about this event from the internet or anything like that. You learn about it from somebody that you did a podcast with.
Yeah. Yeah. He was
basically verbally
Mhm.
learn about it.
Yeah. And then I saw it on LinkedIn.
Got it. Okay. And when you saw it on LinkedIn, her name is not here. Is that what you're telling me?
That's correct.
So prior to your arrival, you didn't know she would be there.
No idea.
Anything else you want to tell me about this?
Not really.
On this one. Thank you.
Or anything else? I have no other violations or anything.
Your Honor, Ms. Morley indicates that the LinkedIn posts indicate her name on the notice. On the LinkedIn.
Yeah, and on the events page, my name is listed as an organizer.
Okay, I got a question. Why do you think he was trying to get to you?
Because he's been trying to do this the whole time. He's been doing this. That was why he left a letter. That's why he emailed me. He's trying to contact me. That's why it shows that he can.
Ma'am, hold on. I just asked you. What other contact has occurred with the threaded here between June or July? Just make sure I get my notes right. Between July 8th of 2024 to present, any direct contact that he's had?
I don't understand how many times I have to be contacted in order for it to matter.
That's, you need to answer get up to the podium. You need to answer my question. You keep saying it keeps happening. You keep using these large phrases, but never giving me any specifics. So what I'm trying to figure out is how many other times from the time that he was sentenced, that's the date I'm using, up to say March or even April, how many times has he contacted you?
This has been the first direct time he's contacted me since July.
Okay, so then my question is, from that date you didn't see him, but heard about him in the building at work in March, did he appear in the building after that at your work?
After what date?
You said it was sometime in mid-March that you heard he was in the building. Did that occur again?
I don't know,
work?
not that I saw.
So I'm to understand that between the time I sentenced him and this day, or the April 25th date, there's been no contact.
Okay. Yes.
And on that date, at least as I see it, we can at least agree that he entered. You're saying it was because of your actions. He's saying it's because of his actions. But regardless of that, you were not the person that checked him in. Somebody else, as Miss Walters, checked him in.
He tried to get me to check him in, and when I
How
didn't
do you
contact
know?
him, because he walked up to me and said good morning to me and looked at me and said good morning and tried to have me check him into an event that I was hosting. That's how I know. He didn't look at Miss Walters, he looked at me.
And the other thing that we can, well, you're not agreeing to that, but the other thing that we can agree, he did go off and the event was taking place in another room. And then, at least as I listened to both of you, he left shortly thereafter.
That's correct.
He didn't, would you agree, didn't come back out the front where you were? He somehow or another left the event.
Yes.
And your thought is, well, what is your thought about why he left the event?
I don't know why he left if he was there for work. There to network. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, so your belief is that he came to the event to see you,
Yes.
saw you, went into the event that, by your understanding of this, he really had no intention really to be at, because his sole intention was to see you.
I think his intention was to show up and show me that he can be around me no matter what, because nothing is getting done about this. That's what I think his intention was.
Where do you get that from?
The fact that he stood in line longer to see me, to get me to check him in than he was at the event. That's what makes me feel that way.
Thank you. Ms. Anderson, anything you want to say on behalf of your client at this point?
Your Honor, I haven't heard anything that gives rise to any direct or indirect contact. She's referenced the events, two separate events, the March 2025 event. Doesn't appear that she even knew that he was in the building. I don't see anything that gives rise to any contact. She didn't see him, he didn't speak directly with him, and my client has presented information that he was there for work purposes. Once he found out that she was there, he found ways to work remotely, which would indicate, to me at least, that he was trying to comply with the court's orders with regards to that. The April event, again, he's there for networking. I mean, it's almost in that situation a lose-lose for Mr. Stevens. She's complaining that he stayed only 10 minutes, and if he had stayed the full event, that also would have been a problem. Your Honor, I don't see anything that gives rise to any violation of probation, and I would ask the court to dismiss this.
I'm gonna step out for a moment. Miss Valera, can you call AAPD and ask them
Yes, I will.
about requests for service from Monday and those before?
Yes.
And what, yeah,
I will.
can you? If they can get us a list and guys, give me about 15 minutes and let her do that. And you got the contact information from Miss Walters, Miss Flair?
I will get it for her.
Okay, and can you see if you can reach out to her too? I know I'm giving you a lot.
That's okay.
All right, and then we'll reconvene. I'll come back on it. Thank you. Court's in standing recess.
All rise.